Hello everyone and welcome back to the Faith and Freedom series. Last week we discussed how conservatism focuses on the spiritual conceptions of the rights in the Declaration. So today we'll tackle progressivism's view and how it fundamentally differs. Woodrow Wilson's presidency spearheaded the progressive movement. In his essay, What is Progress?, Wilson states, "Government is not a machine, but a living thing. It falls not under the theory of the universe, but under the theory of organic life. It is accountable to Darwin, not to Newton. It is modified by its environment, necessitated by its tasks, shaped to its functions by the sheer pressure of life. No living thing can have its organs offset against each other as checks and live. On the contrary, its life is dependent upon their quick cooperation, their ready response to the commands of instinct or intelligence, their amicable community of purpose." So there are two big things in this paragraph. First, Wilson establishes that government follows evolutionary theory, that it needs to adapt to its environment to work effectively. Conservatives see our rights as spiritually derived and therefore constant. But by relying on evolutionary theory, Wilson's view gives room for our rights to change based on the source of oppression at the time. In the same essay, Wilson expands on this idea by saying, "The Declaration of Independence did not mention the questions of our day. It is of no consequence to us unless we can translate its general terms to examples of the present day and substitute them in some vital way for the examples it itself gives, so concrete, so intimately involved into the circumstances of the day in which it was conceived and written." So progressives believe the rights listed in our Declaration need to adapt to new circumstances. Second, Wilson challenges separation of powers, checks and balances, and federalism, constitutional principles, when he said, "No living thing can have its organs offset against each other as checks and live." This is progressivism's how. For progressivism to address oppression, it needs to be active, it needs to be quick and efficient, and structural limitations such as Congress slowing down presidential agendas limits that. With government based on evolutionary theory, it needs to be adaptable, quick, adjustable, which structural limitations prevent. Now, progressive presidents such as Theodore Roosevelt, Woodrow Wilson, and FDR all took strong stances against big business, calling them oppressive forces, and in the words of FDR, money changers in the temple, referring to the time when Jesus stormed the temple driving out money changers unethically selling sacrifices on the grounds. They saw business, not government, as the threat to liberty. They believed the times and circumstances have changed, so government is no longer the main oppressive force Wall Street bankers were, and limited government was a thorn in the side to addressing this problem. In his Commonwealth Club address, FDR changes both the definition of the rights in the Declaration and then venerates Wilson with Jefferson. He stated, "The task of statesmanship has always been the redefinition of these rights in terms of a changing and growing social order," and defines the right to life as the right to make a comfortable living. The cost of this is that government now gets to define the rights. Instead of rights given by a creator and free from manipulation by society, society as a whole, through government, decides rights, even if it may infringe upon the rights and beliefs of others. This is the source of universal health care, government welfare, and affirmative action. In the drive to empower minorities, progressivism is willing to give government power to oppress majorities, ignoring the very safeguards our founding fathers put into place. So there are two views of our inalienable rights. Conservatism looks at faith as the universal foundation for our rights and freedoms, where the ideal result is in diversity of outcomes with equality in public standing. Progressivism insists our rights and freedoms change based on modern circumstances. The job of the government is to define these rights and then actively enforce them. This removes the spiritual component and in its place gives tyranny to majoritarianism. So thank you for watching and listening. Links are in the description to the primary sources referred to in making this piece. Next week, in the fourth session, we will talk about how we can ensure our rights are protected from generation to generation.